Yo, Randy is he's a tweet machine.
Ooh, he is the definition of a guy that just doesn't know when to quit.
Yeah.
Riot Games?
No, Pritchford of Gearbox.
Gearbox.
Oh, that man is a fucking delight.
We're live, by the way.
Are you sure that's what you want to go on the record with there, Josh?
I am. He's a fucking delight. I think it's fantastic that he's angering people. It's fucking video games. Oh my god.
But
calm the fuck down. It's just video games.
You realize why he's angering people, right?
No, I do. I realize.
So what did he say?
I don't know.
Exactly. He's not.
So they were saying things about microtransactions and blah blah blah, and then DLC, and then blah blah blah, and then he's like, "We got this," and blah blah blah, and we got that, and blah blah blah, and he doesn't deliver half of the time. Whatever.
No, you do understand that all he's done. It's the only person that's mad is him, and he's like complaining and yelling at people. So the first thing was at the conference, they were like, Borderlands will not have microtransactions. So people reported it won't have microtransactions. But then it was discovered by talking to the actual people making the game that, yes, they will have cosmetic microtransactions. And so Game Informer tweeted out that actually the game will have microtransactions. And he tweets at him and was like, can't believe you guys are fucking me like this.
Well, that is kind of funny. But here's the reality of it. The game already had microtransactions. Borderlands 2 had it.
No one's arguing that.
Yeah.
But don't say it.
The thing is, he's representing the company, and he's just giving the worst look, because then he got into a Twitter argument with the guy that voiced Claptrap that no longer works for the company, and a fan asked him, hey, are you coming back to voice Claptrap? He was like, no, I asked to get paid, and they said, nope. And so Randy was like, man, that's so disingenuous. I can't believe you do that to us, blah, blah. And he starts screaming at him, and he goes, buddy, I think you might want to shut up before I start airing out all your dirty laundry. And it basically, he's bringing it on himself because he's a dick. He doesn't know when to stop. All he has to do is not engage. It's not like people are mad at him. It's him having a public freak out on Twitter.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. A CEO of a video game company will get a lot of shit for having this. But an individual, number one, could do this thing every single day. And, people are just like, whatever.
Yeah, it's because normal people every day aren't representing their company.
Chris knows what I'm saying.
Does he?
I don't think so, because I think we're on very different poles in that, he's big boss. Maybe you don't have to say, you don't have to come down to the lowlies and fling shit with them.
I'm just saying, this is the norm. This is the norm. This is the new normal, people. This is what we have to accept.
I don't
know, Josh. That's a terrible take there, buddy.
It's not a terrible take. It's a reality. This is the new normal. Everyone's gonna fling shit at each other because it's Twitter. It's the place where people fling shit at each other. It's the new zoo.
I'm just gonna say that if you're gonna be mad at someone for saying that your game has microtransactions, don't have microtransactions, and don't say you don't have microtransactions. You fucking lied.
Yeah, all he had to say was our microtransactions are cosmetic only. Done.
Yeah, but he said there are no microtransactions. That is patently false.
So when a journalistic website posted a correction on his own bullshit, he then goes, I can't believe you... The actual quote, I can't believe you guys are trying to fuck me like this.
I don't know about this, guy.
Game Informer, of all people.
Guys, I don't know about this. There's a lot of microaggressions happening right now.
Wow.
Josh.
Wow.
No. Nope.
What a monster you are.
Not engaging with that one. We're moving on.
Yeah.
To the crux of the episode, the actual...
Oh my god, that went on for way too long.
It did, because you decided to have just a shit take.
Oh man. That felt awful.
So Infamous turned 10 years this week.
Yeah, good.
You know, yeah, Chris Cole McGrath.
I remember Cole McGrath. I liked the first Infamous. I liked the second Infamous way more.
Of course.
Was there
Yeah,
a third Infamous that I forgot about?
Yeah, Second Son with your boy Delson.
Oh,
Yeah, Second Son is the best Infamous.
With
I'm
your,
not-
with
I'm
your,
not-
your
that
smoke
wasn't-
powers and your neon powers and your stone powers and your TV powers.
that wasn't a joke. I legit forgot there was a third Infamous.
Well, that's because it's not called Infamous 3, Chris.
Well, it doesn't matter. I still would have remembered the game called Infamous.
I actually am kind of upset that they didn't call it Third Son
Oh God,
Why
shut
would
up.
they?
because it's the third game.
Yeah, but he's not the third son.
Well, they could have made a Third Son.
No.
Anyway, I'm glad Infamous existed. It was a nice to see a superhero game not in the mold of the big two comic book companies.
Right. And it's a rare example of a game like that succeeding without having the name brand of a big two superhero. I struggle to think of other games in this quote unquote superhero genre, and the closest I can think is Prototype.
Prototype.
But that came out the same month as Infamous. So it's not like I don't want to say Infamous is the first of its type.
I'm sure there are others in the long ago.
You know what? Freedom Force
Freedom Force.
and City of Heroes.
Yep.
But those, I don't know if those count because weren't both of those make your own hero type of thing?
I don't believe Freedom Force was to make your own hero. City of Heroes definitely. Freedom Force, I think you had to take care of a team.
Okay.
Freedom Force.
Freedom Force was an awesome, like, oh man, how do I put it?
It's an isometric RPG, was it not?
Yeah, it was a real-time RPG, and you had a squadron of superheroes.
It was in that same era as what was the spy game? You Only Live Twice? No, You Only Live Forever 2.
Yeah,
The one with the lady spy that was really well received, and we've never seen anything from it since.
I'm typing it in. Hold on.
Yeah,
No One Lives Forever.
that's it. That game got such praise, and then it fell into the fucking abyss, and we've never heard from it since.
And it's made by Irrational Games,
Yeah.
who you might remember as the people that made BioShock.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Freedom Force was the game they made right before BioShock.
Anyway, yeah, but the superhero and video game group has been so tied together. I mean, all the way back to like the Atari, the Superman game that came out for Nintendo.
So yeah, our topic today is going to be just our favorite superhero games of all time across any platform, any genre. And of course, we're going to start with everyone's top game, Superman 64.
I've never played it.
The standard bearer for quality.
I've
That
never
game
played
is
Oh,
it, and
not
I'm never going to.
What'd you
That
say,
game,
Josh?
that game does not count.
It doesn't?
Nope.
It technically counts because it is a superhero game.
Is it?
But Superman's in it. That's something.
You know what? You know what's crazy about superhero games is you'd really think that they would have had a golden age during the like NES, Super NES, Genesis eras, but they really didn't. Like during that era, it was the Disney games that were the best made platforming, like licensed platforming games, because Capcom was making them.
Well, that X-Men game for the Genesis was really good.
It was pretty good, but
was-
I mean,
Good for what it was.
I don't think it wasn't until Spider-Man 2 on the PS2 that I think we got our first true, like, incredible great game.
I think part of the problem is that superheroes are pretty hard to adapt into any other medium. Like they're kind of perfect made for the comics medium, which has time and space and you can plan out everything. But when you translate it to a video game, it's a little trickier. Like if you look at the superhero games, the Batman game for Nintendo, or even the X-Men games for the Sega, they don't really know like what what to do.
with all the different powers. Like I remember
If
Josh
anything.
Josh before the show started brought up X-Men and Spider-Man Arcade's Revenge. And I just remember how clunky that game was.
Oh, it was super clunky.
Yeah, like wasn't there was an X-Men game where Wolverine lost health with his claws out? Is that
Yeah, it's the one.
yeah.
Every time he attacked an enemy, he lost health. You know, the guy characterized by always being able to regenerate health, and you lost it.
Yeah, but you know, we didn't know how to make that work in that time. No one knew.
No, but you know what? There was one genre that really fit superheroes back in that era, and that's the beat 'em up. I mean, you have the classic arcade X-Men game, which our friend Doug wanted to bring up, but he couldn't make the show. So, I mean, everyone has fond memories of playing around a Chuck E. Cheese or no, not Chuck E. Cheese. What was the other one, Chris?
Celebration Station.
Celebration Station around the X-Men arcade, because you could have 6 people playing.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
And it's crazy because as someone that didn't read comics during that time and my only knowledge was the X-Men TV show, I was so confused why Wolverine's costume was brown and yellow and why none of the people looked like their characters. And I didn't understand why Colossus had an attack where he exploded and Wolverine could shoot beams out of his claws. And I realized it's creative licensing to make the beat 'em up work. Got to give him a superpower. But I just remember being like, I don't know who any of these people are because they're not in the cartoon.
Not in the cartoon yet.
Exactly. But
Yeah,
no, because the beat 'em up, the Super Nintendo also had that Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage game.
That was pretty fun.
And there's also that really cool Captain America and the Avengers beat 'em up game.
That was in the arcade.
Yeah.
That was really good times.
Can I give a moderately hot take?
Please.
Like a lukewarm take?
Hit us with that lukewarm tape, baby.
I think beat 'em ups are terrible. I fucking hate beat 'em ups.
Wow.
Really?
I do. I can't stand them. Even the X-Men arcade, which Matt and I did play through once, when it came to the Xbox, I can't stand it. I hate them so much.
Really? Why?
Part of the problem is the problem I have with playing with multiple characters on the same screen where I lose focus of where I am. So I end up walking into a wall because I'm looking at someone else.
Okay.
And number 2 is I just don't think it's very fun. It's very repetitive.
So you never liked the beat 'em up?
No, never.
Really? See,
Never.
'cause I get your hatred of like platforming and rhythm games because you're just bad at them.
I'm super bad at them.
But you can just mash your way through a beat 'em up,
Yeah, but it's just boring, I think.
which is right up your alley.
Shut up. But but you know what? The beat 'em up was the genre that like you were like, what do we do with superheroes in this 8-bit, 16-bit era?
Beat 'em up.
Yes, they'll just beat each other up.
Yeah, it was a beat 'em up or it was a side scroller. Those were your only options.
Yeah.
And again, like I remember Spider-Man 2 was the first true catalyst of greatness, showing that a superhero game can be amazing. But I remember directly preceding it, the PS1 Spider-Man 1 game, it didn't like blow up the charts, but I remember it being very well received at the time.
I played that on PC, and I thought it was pretty great. It's ugly as shit, and it's kind of badly voice acted, but it's got all the bones that you would want out of a superhero, out of a Spider-Man game.
Yeah. Actually, real quick, Julian brought up one other major one we've forgotten that came out before Spider-Man 2 blew up the genre. Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh,
And before that, Street Fighter versus X-Men. So fighting games were also a genre that could have been used, but only in that one specific entry. Although there was that Justice League fighting game.
I don't know. The Capcom fighting games with Marvel were great. Children of the Atom was really good. The Marvel superheroes with the Infinity Stones, that was really cool. And then Marvel vs. Capcom 2, even though the music was god awful, the game was a lot of fun.
I remember reading Nintendo Power and the issue where they talked about Justice League Task Force for the Super Nintendo. And you were jealous I couldn't play it because that came out during the early night, right after Superman came back from the dead, because he was sporting. I'm looking at it right now. He's sporting his stupid mullet.
Didn't Blizzard make the Death and Return of Superman?
What?
Didn't Blizzard make the Death and Return of Superman?
The game?
Yeah. Some big name studio made the Death and Return of
Death
Superman.
and Return of Superman was made by Sun Corporation. Oh no, it was developed by Blizzard. You're right.
So yeah, I mean, it's
But
interesting.
beat 'em up.
It's interesting, especially how the paths diverge from DC and Marvel, because DC had everything on Batman. Everything was Batman in the early '90s, whereas Marvel, they kind of branched out with all their characters. Like you said, we had the Captain America game, we had the X-Men, we had Spider-Man. So they were a little more diversified, whereas DC was just chunking out Batmans.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it looks like Blizzard made that fighting game too.
They made Task Force?
Yeah,
Back
for the
before
Super
the
Nintendo.
real money was in back before the real money was in
MMOs.
yeah.
All right, so again, for Kogasu who's just joining, the reason we're doing this topic is because Infamous turned 10 this week.
Yeah.
So why not?
Do you want to just name your favorite?
Yeah, I was thinking we could go through, and then I was gonna go read a list that I found of someone else's top superhero games.
Okay, let's do it.
So how about this? Give us your favorite superhero game pre-Spider-Man 2,
Oh.
then the PS2 generation, then PS3 generation, then current gen.
That's a lot of work, Matt.
Whatever. If it helps, I can give you some examples of ones that came out during each generation.
Sure.
Okay. So who wants to go first?
I will go first, I guess.
Go first, Chris.
Pre Spider-Man 2, I have a non-existent answer. I guess it's the Spider-Man game that came out on PlayStation 1 by default, because I didn't play a lot of superhero games in that time. In the PlayStation 2, Xbox era, I'm going to say Spawn.
Really?
The Spawn game that came out. It was a lot of fun, and it was kind of what you'd expect from a Spawn video game. So, but it's a well we've never gone back to either. So,
I'm surprised. Okay.
what were you thinking?
For you, X-Men Legends.
Yeah, that's a good one, but nah.
Yeah.
It would be X-Men Legends 2 if I was going to pick one of them.
Okay.
And for the PlayStation 3 era is Arkham Asylum, which I think is the best superhero game that's ever been made.
And now?
It's Spider-Man PS4 because it's so incredible that nothing can come close.
Okay. Josh?
So before Spider-Man 2, I have a two-way tie for the Batman game for the regular Nintendo, the NES, and Marvel Superheroes. And then in the Spider-Man 2 era, I guess that's what the PlayStation 2 era, PlayStation 2 era. I really liked all the Marvel RPG games, the Ultimate Alliance and the X-Men Legends.
X-Men Legends was so good.
And then after that, so like for the Xbox and PlayStation, Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 era, Arkham Asylum is a definite.
I think you'll be hard-pressed to find a better one during the PS3 era than, arguments could be made for both Asylum's tighter focus versus City's grander scope, but it's one of those two.
Yeah.
All right. So pre-Spider-Man 2, I'm going to have to go the X-Men beat 'em up, most likely. just because I wasn't as big into fighting games at the time, so Marvel vs. Capcom doesn't count. During the PS2 era, though, and where is it? I want to give it to Spider-Man 2. Feels too easy, so I'm going to choose one that hasn't been picked yet, and I'm going to go with The Punisher, which was the game that was so violent that they had to edit the crap out of it when it came to America and turn everything black and white.
I
executed somebody.
I adore that Punisher game, but I haven't played it since it came out.
Yeah, like I don't know if it holds up. I'm going pure. You could also do the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
That was also really fun.
That was a really good game, and also one of the last games to come out tied to a movie.
Yeah.
Before they completely abandoned having licensed games tied to movie launches. Like we had Iron Man, we had Captain America, we had a Thor game, and we had Incredible Hulk, and that was it.
And we had Iron Man too.
What about the Wolverine game?
The what?
Wolverine Origins, Wolverine versus Helicopters.
Yeah, but that's PS3 era.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking MCU based.
Okay.
I know, like that is one of the most underrated ones, hands down. Was X-Men Wolverine Origins. That was an amazing game that it played like Wolverine meets God of War, and they did not skimp on the gore. Hey, what's up, Glorious War? We missed you last week when we had our big in-game conversation. I know you had some questions for us the week before, so ask them in the chat. We might hit them up. Right now we're doing a infamous 10-year reunion look back at our favorite superhero video games. PS3, I mean, I actually think I enjoyed Arkham City more just because I really love open world games. But if I'm being real, I think Arkham Asylum's the better game.
It's a 1A and 1B kind of thing. Like you're not wrong with whichever one you pick.
Right, exactly. And then it's hard not to pick last year's Spider-Man PS4.
Oh yeah,
like Arkham Knight was fun, but you stacked it up to Spider-Man, and it's a no contest.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to. Spider-Man has changed the game the way Arkham Asylum changed the game way back when.
Right, but it's more of a refinement on the Arkham formula, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris,
yeah,
I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna list off some superhero games.
Okay.
And you tell me good, like great, like rank it on a sliding scale of like amazing, great, good, okay, don't care.
Okay.
You too, Josh. Jump in.
Okay.
All right.
Let's hear
it. This is obviously not an exhaustive list. This is what Google pops up, in the top when you type in superhero games, and it just gives you a lot of different options. So I'm just going to read them. These seem to be a good chunk of the list, though. So, okay. Arkham Asylum.
Great.
Good. Well, great.
Okay. I was like, damn, Josh starting with a spicy take from the start.
No.
Nah?
I'm spicy tonight. I had jalapenos.
Oh, my God. We already discussed that Spider-Man PS4 is baller.
Great.
That's
what? Here's a side question for you, because the next one is Marvel Ultimate Alliance. So that team has made several games that are the same type of isometric 4-player top-down RPGs. So between X-Men Legends, X-Men Legends 2, Ultimate Alliance, and Ultimate Alliance 2, what's your choice?
I totally forgot X-Men Legends 1, so I'm going to say X-Men Legends 2 over them all.
I would say Ultimate Alliance 1 because it had the what if kind of branching stories that you can go back and watch later.
Right.
I really liked that. I don't remember enough about the Legends games other than liking them when they came out.
Okay.
Because I haven't touched them since. And I remember Ultimate Alliance 2 was disappointing.
Okay. Yeah, I remember it was disappointing for us as well, or me as well, because I remember they made a big deal about every character having a team attack with every other character.
Yeah.
And then they
It was
all
the same
ended up
attack.
doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, how excited are you for Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch?
Not very, because the joy of Ultimate Alliance is playing with other people, and
It doesn't have online co-op.
yeah, but like Nintendo's online co-op.
I mean, you're right. However, they did just announce some of the new characters joining. And
Okay.
Miss Marvel is one of the newest. She's getting her first video game appearance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to get it and play it, but I think it's going to miss something.
Well, I hope not. I hope it's great because it's been a while. It's been like a decade.
Yeah, easily.
Let's see.
What's next?
The next one on the list is I lost the list.
List is lost.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold the phone. Okay,
You're
I
doing
found the
a
list again.
fantastic job.
Arkham City, we already discussed. Now, what about Injustice 2? Because video game fighting games kind of blew up with Marvel vs. Capcom, and then DC joined in with Injustice, and we won't talk about Mortal Kombat versus DC.
I have no opinion. My only interest in Injustice comes from the comics that have come out that I've been meaning to read, because apparently Injustice is bonkers. But I'm not a fighting game person, and I don't care.
Okay.
I like the first this.
What about the Lego games? Lego Marvel Superheroes, Lego DC Supervillains, Lego DC whatever. There's a bunch of Lego superhero movies.
I started playing my first Lego game on Game Pass with Lego Star Wars: The Complete Collection.
Mm-hmm.
I see that later in the month, Lego Batman 3 is coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, that's the one that happened to everybody.
So I will play that and see how that goes. But I've never played one before.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't played Lego games.
Let's see. We already talked about Incredible Hulk, X-Men Origins Wolverine,
Great.
Deadpool. Did anyone ever play the Deadpool game?
I
No, I
did.
have not.
With Nolan North voicing Deadpool?
I didn't, and I missed it when it came back in re-release form.
Okay. Now, Chris, here's one you might forget, even though it technically is a superhero game.
Mhm.
Saints Row.
Yeah, I was thinking about Saints Row, because Saints Row,
I believe it's 4, right? No, it's 3rd.
Is it a
the fourth one
superhero
is the Matrix.
Yeah, it's the 3rd.
The third one is very super heroic in just playing with all those tropes, and I kind of really adore it. It's not really a superhero as we know it, but it is super human. So yeah, I think Saints Row the 30 is great. So
Let's see. What are some other ones we haven't talked about? Wow, we kind of already talked about them. They're all just like variations. Oh, I want to talk about a really bad one. Remember the big deal they made about them creating brand new villains and heroes for Marvel Nemesis: Rise of the Imperfects?
Yes.
What was that?
It was a dumb fighting game.
It was like it was a bad fighting game. It was like kind of a weirdly realistic looking Power Stone style game.
What was that? What was that one X-Men game that they made with the 3 new characters?
Destiny.
Oh, X-Men
Yeah.
Destiny, the game made by the your boy from Too Human.
Yeah.
I remember reading that story because it bankrupted his company and they lied about their milestones, and Activision sued them, and now they don't exist anymore.
So my favorite thing about Marvel Nemesis is not the game. It was the little trailer video they used to play at GameStop when I worked there. And the thing that always drove me nuts is they would be like, oh, Captain America's vanished, and oh, the Hulk was seen, but now he's gone. And someone's like, and then a report comes, it's like, we just got reports that the Punisher vanished. And I'm just like, people would be like really thrilled that the Punisher's off the streets.
Yeah.
Like they would be psyched beyond words.
Everybody would be happy.
They were they're sitting, and like they pan over the Punisher's like flak jacket on like a pole, It's supposed to be really sad, but like, no one would be sad if the Punisher died. In the Marvel universe, no sane person would be sad if the Punisher died.
No sane person. Yeah.
So it was a partnership between Marvel and EA. It was supposed to be the first of a multi-game deal, but the game was so mediocre and no one bought it that they quickly stopped. So you could play as Daredevil, Elektra, Human Torch, Iron Man, Magneto, Spider-Man, Storm, The Thing, Venom, and Wolverine. It's a heavy focus on X-Men.
X-Men were still really popular at that point. They had movies.
It's true. They were the ones with the movies. And then the Imperfects, the characters that have gone on to become just huge in the comic world, like Johnny Ohm and Brigade and Niles Van Rokel. And who can forget the Wink?
The Who?
Exactly. Marvel Nemesis, everybody.
Do these people ever show up in comics? I don't believe so.
They don't. They never. Marvel dropped them faster than they dropped the X-Men when Fox wouldn't give them the rights back.
Which when you realize how dumb the majority of the Marvel universe is, the fact that these guys don't even warrant a cameo in anything should tell you how terrible they are.
Exactly. Yeah, Dennis Diak, Julian. Yeah. Also, we aren't talking strictly licensed because Beautiful Joe counts. Julian said Beautiful Joe is one of his. Yeah, because I mean this whole thing is brought on by Infamous, so we aren't talking just sponsored. It's just they're the most prolific genre of them.
I think Beautiful Joe is very pretty. I didn't play it because I didn't have a GameCube at that point.
You could have got it
beautiful.
Huh?
A very beautiful game. No, that didn't work out.
Yes. That was your full of Matthew joke. All right, so I have 2 top 10 lists here.
All right, I like top 10s. Let's go through them.
One from Twinfinite and one from Game Informer themselves.
Who is Twinfinite?
It's just a video game website.
And who is Game Informer?
They're the people that are fucking Richard Randy Pritchford. So we'll start with Twinfinite, and this is now this was done in 2018. So Spider-Man has just come out.
Okay.
But I think that's probably inspired them to do this because Game Informers is done a week later. So Spider-Man's release has inspired all these people to list their favorite games ever.
Okay.
So, here we go. Top 10 best superhero games of all time, according to Twinfinite.
Okay.
The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction at number 10.
A really, really fun game that I think they should actually try to go back to or re-release because it needs more love.
It really did, or it was. Now, here's one I didn't even think about, but I definitely would put this up there, especially in terms of non-Big Two superhero games. South Park, The Fractured But Whole.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That is literally a superhero game.
Yeah.
I know Chris doesn't agree because he hates South Park, but that's
no. I agree. It is in fact a superhero game. I just don't gotta like it.
It is in fact a superhero game.
Number 8 is The Punisher.
That's a great game. It's so stupid, but it's so great, and it really does a good job of adapting that Welcome Back Frank trade that is out. Much better than the movie that did the exact same thing.
Exactly. Now, Marvel Ultimate Alliance is number 7.
Great. I think it's the pinnacle of that series.
Number 6, X-Men Origins Wolverine, as we discussed.
Also needs a re-release.
Oh, God, yeah. Number 5, this will make Julian happy, Beautiful Joe. Number 4, Infamous 2. What?
The best Infamous game.
Infamous 2 was so good.
It was so good.
I really liked how whether you went good or bad, you got actual different powers, ice and fire, depending on the morality path you chose.
Yes.
3, Injustice 2. Number 2, Spider-Man PS4. Wow.
Huh.
Yeah.
And number 1, Arkham City, Chris.
Okay. 1A, 1B.
It looks like they're choosing one from each superhero franchise, so that's why it wasn't a list of nothing but Spider-Man games and Batman games.
Yeah, Spider-Man and Batman, especially now in the modern 3D era, tend to lend themselves more to better games.
Yeah. So it looks like, they chose one for each superhero.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's move on to Game Informer and see how many of those cross over.
Let's see.
Whoa. Julian has not played Infamous 2 or 3.
Somebody needs to get on the Infamous game.
Hold up. All right.
Are you going to hold him so you can fuss him in chat?
Yes.
Okay.
That's awful. That is so awful.
Number 10 for Game Informer is Infamous 1.
It's good. It's not better than 2, though.
I agree. Number 9 is Spider-Man 2, the game that blew it all up.
I've never played Spider-Man 2.
Really?
Nope. Didn't play it.
I find that so shocking. Like, it was everywhere.
Yeah, it just I don't know what happened. Just didn't happen.
It's crazy. You'll never know the joy of being asked to grab a kid's balloon.
Yeah, but I played Spider-Man 2018, so I'm pretty happy regardless.
I think he's pretty good. I think he's pretty
Number
good.
8 is our first game on both. Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
Yep.
Number 7, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, our second double up.
Yep.
Number 6 is Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Interesting that they went 3 over 2.
No, that is interesting.
I mean, I know that series only from reputation. So
Now, number 5 is Injustice 2. So that's both of these. Injustice 2 must be really good.
you know what I've really enjoyed is going on YouTube and watching Injustice clips of characters meeting each other.
Yes,
That's always very fun for me.
always. Now, here's a hot take. Oh, never mind. Okay, I just looked at what's next, and I'm like, okay. Number 4 is they put Arkham Knight.
I don't know.
Arkham Knight's really let down because of the Batmobile segments, which are fun in bursts and not fun all the way through.
Yeah, too much Batmobile stuff is forced upon you.
Also, I think the story kind of sucks.
Oh, I don't think that.
I think the story in City and Night are not great.
Really? You don't even like the story in City?
I think it's fine, but I think they try to put too much into it. The death of the Joker and things like that. It just doesn't work for me.
Okay. Weird. Number 3 is Arkham Asylum. Which
I think the only bad story element in Arkham Asylum is Joker getting Venom.
It's true. Now, number 2 is Spider-Man PS4. So it's the second time Spider-Man takes number 2 spot. And number 1 is also Arkham City. So number 1 and 2 are the same on both. And it seems that they put 3 Arkham games on there. And they
You've almost said all of the Arkham games.
Yeah, and I remember Origins isn't on there.
Origins is interesting because I think what Origins does better than any of the other games is having really interesting boss fights.
Yes.
I think the fight particularly with Deathstroke is one of the better fights in the whole series.
I was going to say one of the biggest, if I had to pinpoint the biggest letdown of Arkham Knight, is that the Deathstroke boss battle is a tank fight, a Batmobile tank fight.
Yeah.
And that I think is criminal. What a waste. Because Arkham City has one of my favorite boss battles, which is Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze is a really good fight.
Oh man, I'm just so bummed by. I got excited when Deathstroke was like a secondary antagonist in Night. I'm like, oh my god, we get to fight Deathstroke, and then he's like, let's go, and then that was the biggest letdown for me.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Origins had a lot of problems because it was not only that, but it was also a technical mess. I definitely had some stuff just glitch out forever.
Oh yeah, it was definitely made by the B Squad. Now,
I said I would love to replay it if they ever re-release it, but they won't.
agreed. Well, they did. Wasn't it
Not
part of the
Origins.
collection?
No, Origins is not part of the collection.
Oh, damn. Oh, dip.
Yeah, they didn't re-release that at all.
Huh. Okay. So why don't we actually going back to the birthday boy? We've all played Infamous, right? At least one of them. Josh?
Yeah.
I played all three.
I would talk about our favorite parts of what makes Infamous so special, and then what is a type of power set that you would love in an upcoming Infamous game?
Ooh, okay. I'll go since no one else is. Bitches. I like the morality scale. I think that's probably that's the strongest part of Infamous. That the actions that you do actually have some type of meaning. And you're right, when in 2 it does really affect your powers a lot. But I don't know. I like 3 for the fact that they have a list of powers. Like they have a lot of really interesting powers. I just wish you can combine them.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I think that should be the next thing they should do, is that you should be able to combine 2 powers.
I think the worst part of 3 was that you didn't get the final stone power until literally like the last boss fight.
Yeah, and by that time you've already completed the whole game.
Yeah, so you really have no reason to use it, and I felt like that was kind of a waste. However, Neon stole the show so much that they decided to make an entire spin-off of Neon's with First Light.
Yeah, the neon powers are really cool. I like the smoke though. I like the combat with the smoke.
I liked poofing up air vents and
Yeah.
shooting up to the top of a building. Although the TV one is criminally underrated. It had a really cool visual effect too.
Which one? The TV one? Yeah.
Although my all-time favorite would be Ice Powers in 2, because it was the mobility of it. There was because 2 had less offensive capabilities than Fire did, but it had more mobility. And there was that one ability where an ice pillar would pop you up into the air.
Oh yeah.
And it lets you travel the city so fast between that and then switch into your electric hover. That was so much fun. It makes me really. I can not believe I am personally still flabbergasted that Infamous 1 and 2 have never been remastered in a collection for PS4.
Well, that's
Flabbergasted.
I don't know why Sucker Punch wouldn't do that. They don't really have anything besides that samurai game.
Well, they've been working on Ghost of Tsushima hardcore since Second Son launched back in like 2014. So the Ghost of Tsushima, I hope, is incredible because they've had all hands on deck for years. Chris?
Yeah, so it's interesting. You talk about memories. I haven't played Infamous 1 since I beat it the first time around, so I remember almost nothing about Infamous 1. What I remember from Infamous 2 is the sense of doom, dread for the beast's arrival.
Yes.
I really felt that was really well accomplished.
Oh yeah.
The morality system is amazing. Like it's something that most games could take a lesson from. But just the overwhelming sense of dread that it is coming and you can't stop it, so you better be ready for it.
Right. I saw, and I remember the ending. Kogasu hasn't played it yet. But I remember the ending was one of those, there are no good options. Like, there is no happy ending. There's only less terrible options depending on your choice.
Yeah.
There's only a less terrible.
And Second Son canonically followed the not great but less terrible one, where it's the needs of the many versus needs of the few.
Mm-hmm. I thought. I'm sorry. I thought Infamous 3, the power sets they had were so creative and so well done. But you talked about it. Neon was so interesting that they had to make their own mini thing for it.
Well, because they turned it into super speed, which is not normally something that translates well to a video game format.
Yeah, it's
it
hard.
Did and it looked awesome. The neon skills looked awesome. That's it.
Yeah.
Neon all the way.
I remember that first trailer when they announced the neon power, where he walks under a neon sign, holds his hand up, and the neon just drains into him. That was the coolest effect in the game. We're going into a neon sector and sucking it all up, and then the area would go dark. It was so cool. The particle effects on that were amazing.
It's still a pretty game. It really is.
It really is. It still holds up.
Especially for a launch PS4 game.
You know what I found about this generation is more so than any other generation is the launch games don't look terrible by today's standards. Like if you go look at a launch PS3 game like the Mobile Suit Gundam Crossfire and then put it up against The Last of Us, it's disgusting.
Oh yeah.
But you can put like Killzone Shadowfall or Infamous Second Son, and they're still good-looking games. Like, yeah, games nowadays are better looking, but not in a way that makes you go like, "Oh God, like what happened?"
Well, yeah. Let me pose this question to the group, because we talked about Batman and Spider-Man and the Punisher and Hulk and Wolverine. There's a lot of other heroes who haven't had games or who've had games that are successful, and I want you to tell me whether you think it could work as a game.
Okay, all right, hit me.
Superman.
Yes, and I think Superman Returns got close to a good idea, which is Superman doesn't have a health bar. The city does. Superman loses when he fails too many people. That concept was solid. The execution was bad.
I agree. I think the bones are there for a really good Superman game, but no one's going to pick up the ball and run with it. So,
like the problem is that it got, because it was Superman Returns, it got hampered by the has to make the launch of the movie mindset, and so it got rushed. If it was an Arkham Asylum scenario where it's just like we want you to just make the best game you can for Superman, I think we would have had the definitive Superman game.
Do you think we'll get a good Superman game in the next,
I do.
let's say, 10 years?
I do, because there's too much smoke around the rumor that Rocksteady is handling Superman in some capacity. It could be a Justice League game, could be a Superman solo game. In some way, whenever Rocksteady announces their next game, whether it's this E3 or not, I would be very shocked if Superman is not utilized.
Okay, hear me out on this, Matt, and I think this might be something. What if Rocksteady is making a Green Lantern game that's an RPG?
Now, see, I would love a Green Lantern game, a good one. We had one based on the movie, which was a decent God of War light clone, but I would love a true, because an RPG, like you said, where you level up and you can get new constructs.
Yeah.
And you
can build your Lantern Corps. Like, what if they do like a Mass Effect type Green Lantern RPG game during the Darkest Night storyline? I
just came a little in my pants at the mere idea. Because a third person like Mass Effect style RPG would work wonders for Green Lantern, especially if you translate as space flight combat, but instead of like Star Fox style, it's you in space flying.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris? You think that works?
I think it could. Everything that Josh said, just the main thing I heard is this is going to be real expensive. real expensive.
Yeah, but we're talking about like could it work?
No, I said don't misunderstand me. I said it could work, but I also heard super expensive. Okay, well, Green Lantern. I remember what is that? What is that? Days Gone?
Oh, Days Gone.
Yeah. Okay, what about the Flash? Could there be a good Flash game?
Yes, because the Neon game proves that you could have a game based around super speed and have it work. Build off that tech.
Yeah.
Because Saints Row also did super speed really well. And you just have to ramp it up where other things slow down, like incorporate bullet time into it.
I think that's the only way to do it, is to slow down the world to give you super speed.
And the storyline could be pulled directly from the current Justice League story, where Gorilla Grodd kills the turtle and harnesses the Still Force to counteract the Speed Force. So at certain points, you can't just use super speed to take over everybody, because you can get shut down.
Yeah.
And you can have detective mode parts like Arkham, because Barry is a forensic scientist.
I'm kind of surprised that with the success of Arrow, they haven't tried to make an off-brand Arrow Arkham clone.
Agreed. Or a Daredevil one. Either one.
Hold on. Speaking about Daredevil, Doug and I have both talked about how Ubisoft has already built the structure for Daredevil with Assassin's Creed. But what if you mix Assassin's Creed and Phoenix Wright together as a game?
Oh my god!
And there's your Daredevil game.
Yeah.
So like in between court cases, you have an open world game, Assassin's Creed style, but you have to find the clues and find the suspects and shake them down for confessions and evidence. Oh my god, I need that in my life. I'm stealing that idea and claiming it as my own when I post it on Twitter.
No,
I think it could be done.
Yeah, that definitely could be done.
I'm trying to think of who else.
Chris, Callie's in chat and she's bullying me.
Is she? Why?
I don't know why. So who do we have next?
Sonic? Get the
What?
fuck out of here.
Who's next on your list, Chris?
I was trying to think. I'm trying to think of some Marvel people who desperately need a game.
Daredevil, and we just talked about that.
We
already
did
talked
talk
about
about Daredevil. Frankly, like any of the Defenders could use a game.
I would love an Iron Fist action like God of War style game.
Well, you can do Heroes for Hire.
Basically, I just want Iron Fist to be in something good.
You'd like that, wouldn't
Although,
you?
shout out to Iron Fist for being the only character in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 that could heal. Saved our ass a bunch of times, didn't it?
Yeah, the only character out of 50 who could heal himself.
Yep. Not him, just himself, everybody.
Yeah, great.
Got to use that key power.
Sure.
Harness his chi.
That's all I could think of at the moment, because every other kind of like obscure character that I would want to put into a game kind of has a game that's good enough, like the Punisher, Wolverine, the Hulk.
Spider-Man.
Iron Man's got a game, but I mean,
I would like a new Iron Man game, but done with the Zone of the Enders engine.
now you can guess what? You can get that Anthem engine for cheap.
Actually, yeah, Anthem. Duh.
Take Anthem and strip it for parts.
Oh shit! Callie just had a great idea.
What?
A Shazam game
That'd be cool.
where you would have to switch between the Billy and the Shazam characters, and you could have multiple characters and co-op with the other kids.
That'd be fun.
Oh,
I'd like
dip. That's a good one. Hold on. Let's think of some other ones. So specifically, Marvel, you said, huh?
Yeah, because I mean, DC's got it pretty well in hand. The X-Men as a whole need a new game. They haven't had a cohesive game in a while.
What about Doctor Strange? What kind of genre would a Doctor Strange game work in?
It would have to be something like I kind of want to say something like Darksiders.
I was actually thinking something like Divinity.
Ooh.
Like a real hard RPG.
Yeah, like a real-time strategy RPG where you get into all the Midnight Suns are in there, so you can have like teams where you have Doctor Strange and Ghost Rider and stuff like that.
Interesting.
You can have Iron Fist in there. You can throw Iron Fist in there, you know.
That's not a bad idea to make like a real hard RPG and just put a bunch of just cram a bunch of Marvel people in it and kind of work out with that.
You can have this. You can make the Secret Defenders.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that I want to say it was Ultimate Alliance or Ultimate Alliance 2 that gave you team bonuses by who you had on the team that linked up.
Yeah.
That would be kind of fun.
Let's see. All right. So we talked about Daredevil.
Yeah.
What about Black Widow? As like we talked about the No One Lives Forever spy game. Like, what about a perfect dark style third person shooter?
I think Black Widow would work better as like a Siphon, as like a Splinter Cell.
That's what I mean. Like a third person shooting game, like a third person stealth spy game.
Yeah, I think that would work out really nicely.
And it could be about Hydra versus Shield, and have the PvP could be a ripoff of Spies versus Mercs.
Actually, you know what it is? It would be Dishonored.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Dishonored, but no magic.
Now, we also briefly mentioned Green Arrow, and I guess we could translate that to Hawkeye, but like an Arkham game. You know what? No, not even Arkham. Horizon. The bow mechanics exist in video games now. We have quality bow combat in a multiple of genres, or have a Thor game that uses God of War's axe tech.
Yep.
Yeah.
They should sell that axe tech.
Like,
I don't know if you can strip a game like you can strip an automobile, but just sell axetech.exe.
Yep. Now, Chris.
Yeah.
Going away from the big two, there are other comics that I think would make great video games if given the chance.
Stuff like The Darkness?
No, yeah, similar, but I'm thinking a Saga game.
As like a Telltale?
Not Telltale where it's like purely scripted and you just have some QTEs, but like an actual adventure game, like King's Quest style.
I think that would work out really nicely.
Or what about a Hellboy third-person shooter like Gears of War style?
They made one of those, did they not?
Did
they made a Hellboy game.
I don't recall that at all.
It's like something of evil. Please hold.
That's why we have the internet.
That's why we have the internet. Hellboy: The Science of Evil.
Okay. Was
That
it
came
just
out
a
on the
downloadable
PlayStation
game?
3. I'm sorry?
That was probably just a downloadable game then, huh?
No, it's a release.
Oh, damn. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah,
Shoot.
it's a real deal.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Chris. I got two more for you.
All right, hit me.
Cyborg. All right.
Uh-huh.
Crackdown style.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Where the more it starts with him just getting merged with Cyborg, so not all of his systems are online yet, right?
Yeah.
And the further you progress, the more he can do until he's just cyborging it up.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And then finally, Booster Gold.
Yeah.
But it's Deadpool style, where it's fourth wall breaking because he's time traveling to other DC hero games, and he thinks he's helping, but he just never is until the very end when he does. I don't know, man. I need it in my life. I just need some Booster Gold.
You would do anything to just crowbar Booster Gold into a comic.
100%. All right. How about this, Chris?
Yeah.
Arkham City,
Nope.
but Batman Beyond.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh, that would be actually really cool.
Just in my veins, man. All right, Chris, last question before we end it for the night.
Yes.
What genre and what company would you get to make it for the... I'm asking, like, I'm going to give you a character, and I'm going to ask you what genre the game would be, and then I'm going to ask you what company you would have to make it.
You broke up. I didn't catch any of that.
Did you hear me, Josh?
Yeah, genre, company, who would make it?
I'm going to give you a character, Chris.
Something.
Yes.
Tell me what genre the game would play in, and what development team would make it.
Okay.
And assume that it'll be the best possible game, like Arkham Asylum quality. Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. let's see. I think it would be. It would have to be an adventure game. Made by Obsidian. 4-player co-op, AI controlled, other partners. That's what I'd go with.
Okay. I would, I think you're close to what I would go, which is Obsidian would be a good start. An action RPG like Fable style, but almost more like Dragon Quest XI, where it's an open world-ish style, and you can see the enemies on the map, and so the bulk of the gameplay is you have complete control over your characters. But when you enter combat, it turns into a traditional RPG, Chrono Trigger style, with like combo techniques like Chrono Trigger between all the different Fantastic Four members.
Yeah, I think part of the problem with Fantastic Four is that everyone is very straightforward in what they can and can't do, except for Mr. Fantastic, who can do anything.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking you can do it like Castle Crashers.
Oh. But Chris hates beat 'em ups.
Well,
I do
Chris
it.
doesn't have to play the beat 'em up. He doesn't have to
I
play
have
it.
to play it. It's okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have to play it.
I have to play this fictional game, Matt.
Yes, you do, Chris.
Yeah, it's just a fictional game.
I don't know. Maybe overthinking like game studios. Maybe it does need just to be something kind of simple.
I don't know. Did you guys hear about the John Wick game that got announced today?
Yeah.
I heard about it, but I didn't see the.
It's an isometric tactical RPG that uses like Splinter Cell style planning ahead and painting targets and then executing.
That could be really
It's
fun.
Ridiculous.
Oh, I'm super excited for it. It's going to be dope. Dope AF, my friend.
Sure is.
Nope.
What do you mean no?
Nope.
No, I think we got some good stuff out of superheroes.
I agree. So yeah, that about wraps up our 10-year birthday anniversary superhero game edition. Thank you,
Thanks, Infamous.
Thank you, Infamous, for showing us that it doesn't have to be based on a comic book to be amazing.
Well, shouldn't we thank Sucker Punch?
Thank you, Infamous. Thank you, Cole McGrath.
Fuck
Thank
Cole
you,
McGrath.
Randy,
Cole
over at
McGrath
Gearbox.
sucks.
Thank you, Cole McGrath.
I hate Cole McGrath. He
No, you
sucks.
don't.
He sucks.
You don't hate Cole McGrath.
If he was so cool, why isn't he still around?
Because reasons, Chris.
Yeah, like what?
I don't know, non-spoilery reasons.
Uh-huh.
For our friend Kogasu in chat who hasn't played it yet.
Yeah.
You should go play it.
I'm so pleased that Kogasu discovered the majesty of Sauron today.
Oh, really?
The dinosaur.
Yeah.
So I had
saw
to
that
send
you
it,
posted the
I had to send
yeah.
it the best panel of Sauron ever.
Well, it's because it is the best, and also our friend Kogasu has started reading comics now. He got
good.
the Marvel Unlimited app because
Oh,
he
nice.
wanted to
I
start
love
with
Marvel
Marvel.
Unlimited.
So he's starting with Avengers Disassembled. Because I told him the smart way is don't try and read from the start of everyone's history. Like pick an era and start at the start of that. And I think Avengers Disassembled going into Bendis's New Avengers era is pretty much a great way to start to build on what everything that's going on now is.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because I'm not much of an Avengers person at all. So
Well, that's fair. I told him, I asked him first, like, do you want Avengers or do you want X-Men? Because between the two of those, you pretty much have 90% of all of Marvel.
yeah.
Yeah, the best X-Men run would be the Grant Morrison run.
Yeah, I would start with Brewbakers, the move to San Francisco.
Yep.
Really? You didn't do...
If I was instructing a new person to start reading X-Men, that's where I start because it's a new start and it begins kind of the whole flow
Yeah.
that goes into Bendis's new X-Men run and then goes to where we are at the moment.
Right.
That's where I was. I think Morrison is too far back. And then after Morrison, you have to go through some other stuff to get to.
Like you can skip Morrison and go to the Whedon's Astonishing.
Yeah, but you need Morrison's X-Men for Astonishing.
You don't really need it.
I didn't.
feel like you do.
I didn't have it.
No, you don't need it. It's
Nick-
nice, and you can. And here's the thing: Morrison's run is good enough that you can go back to it at any time, and it
That's
will still
true.
be there. But you need some starting point to work with. And I think if you start with Morrison, you end up in like a big dull patch where his run ends to where it gets interesting again.
Imagine how difficult it would be for Morrison's run to come out today with the internet.
We're sure going to find out with Hickman's run.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, Morrison has ruined Green Lantern for me. He's the current writer on Green Lantern, and for the first time in 15 years, I have dropped Green Lantern. I gave it to the first arc, and it was so bad. I couldn't do it.
It's not that bad. It's just that you don't care for it.
Have you read it?
Yeah,
And you like it?
kind of.
Nope.
But then again, I'm not the world's biggest Green Lantern fan.
Well, was.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
He
so
killed me. He killed it for me.
I
Anyway,
think this is a good way to end this episode. With
Ogasu is about to enter House of M, so he's about to get to some good stuff.
House of M is just beautiful.
House of M is a mess.
Oh,
Chris's favorite one of
House of
Chris's
M.
favorite panels of all time comes from the end of House of M.
I know. House of M number 7 is the very first comic book I ever bought.
Because of that panel.
Yeah. But then, I go back and I read House of M now, and I'm just so annoyed by everything that came out of it.
It's still, I can't believe that it's still dealing with the fallout from House of M.
Yeah.
Like, we are like 15 years later, and X-Men comics still are based
Still
on
dealing
what
with House of
happened.
Well, well, that's a fun fact. Like, how many years did we deal with the Phoenix after the first time she showed up? Like, now? Like 40?
Right. No, I know. It's fascinating because normally things don't have that kind of longevity in terms of impact.
So let me tell you this. The X-Men love to dwell on past tragedy. And if you give them a tragedy, they will dwell on it forever.
But it's not about the tragedy. It's about the actual act that has affected everything the X-Men do.
No, I know. But if you give them anything, any kind of misstep, if Cyclops stubbed his toe one time too hard, I guarantee you Cyclops is still talking about that stubbed toe.
Oh, by the way, Chris, I know you don't read Uncanny X-Men anymore. Did you know Cyclops is now literally a Cyclops?
Yeah, no, I still read Uncanny X-Men.
Do you? Okay. How great was that scene?
Yeah, it's Uncanny X-Men it's odd, man.
I'm digging the hell out of it.
It's not a good jumping on point because there's a lot of stuff going on.
No, but we will lead Kogasu into it.
Yeah, he'll get there in like 4 years.
All right. We're going to end it now because we are just rambling now. So,
that was a ramble.
All right, guys.
bye, everybody.
Closing
We'll be back next
statement.
week.
Get the fuck out of here.
Next week, usual time. Bye, everyone.